I never imagined that a simple plumbing job would land me in the middle of an interstellar incident. I'm Alex Trent, an ordinary maintenance engineer on Outpost Lyria 12, a small colony on the edge of explored space. My daily life mostly consisted of fixing airlocks, stabilizing energy conduits, and occasionally patching up water filtration systems. Mundane work, but steady pay. That was until I received the call. "Alex, come to Dome 7. There's a problem with my pipes," said the voice in the translator. Smooth, melodic, almost hypnotic. I frowned. Dome 7 was the residential section reserved for off-world researchers and interstellar visitors. Normally, they had their own maintenance crews. "Sure, I'll be there," I said, thinking nothing of it. Another routine job. When I arrived, I was met by a sight that made my jaw drop. She was standing there in the doorway of her habitat, a girl, though not human. Her skin shimmered with a faint lavender glow, her hair floated in zero-gravity waves, and her eyes were enormous, a kaleidoscope of colors that seemed almost alive. "Hello," she said, her voice melodic and soft. "Thank you for coming." No problem," I said awkwardly. "Just a routine fix." She smiled, a small, almost mischievous curl of her lips. "Yes, but perhaps more complicated than you think." I followed her into the habitat, noticing immediately the unusual plumbing system. The pipes were luminescent, flowing with a fluid that seemed alive, moving like liquid light rather than water. Middle, the unexpected discovery. I knelt down, tools in hand, inspecting the luminescent pipes. The flow was irregular, pulsing erratically. My first thought was a clog or a misalignment, but the readings were unusual. "You see the pulse?" she asked, leaning over. Her scent was intoxicating, subtle yet commanding. I shook my head, focusing on the work. "It's not like normal fluid," I murmured. "Maybe some kind of biological matter." Her eyes lit up in surprise. "Interesting, you're the first human to notice. Most just panic." I felt a flush of pride, which quickly turned into confusion. Suddenly, her hands hovered near the pipes, and a wave of energy pulsed through the room. I staggered backward. What was that?" I asked. "That," she said, "is my physiological connection to the habitat. The pipes regulate not only water but also my reproductive cycle." I froze. "Your reproductive cycle?" "Yes," she admitted, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. "I am in mating season. The energy fluctuations are intense." I blinked. Of all the things I expected when I was called to fix pipes, this was not one of them. She waved a hand over the luminescent fluid, and it responded, moving faster, swirling, almost agitated. The system must balance with my biology. If not, complications may occur. "Complications?" I echoed nervously. She stepped closer, her gaze locking with mine. "I may become unstable. You, Alex, are the only human who can stabilize the flow without harming me." I realized then that my mundane plumbing skills were suddenly elevated to life or death stakes for an alien species in reproductive flux. Training and unexpected connections. Over the next several days, I returned daily to help regulate the habitat. Each visit was more intense than the last. She taught me how to sense the energy flow, how to adjust the pipes with precision, and how to respond to fluctuations in her physiological cycle. Her presence was overwhelming. Every pulse, every glow, every subtle shift in her form sent waves through the room, and through me. "You're responding too," she observed one evening, her eyes narrowing with curiosity. "Your human body is affected by my cycle." I swallowed nervously. I didn't realize. "Yes," she said, smiling faintly. "Humans are sensitive, though not all are capable of control. That is why I called you. You can manage, focus, balance. It was clear that my role had shifted. I wasn't just a plumber anymore, I was a regulator, a mediator of her biology, and an unintended participant in an alien mating cycle. The work was intense. I spent hours monitoring flow rates, adjusting conduits, and maintaining equilibrium. Yet, the longer I worked, the more I realized that I was learning her rhythms, her patterns, and her unspoken needs. One evening, as I stabilized the main conduit, she leaned close. "You understand me better than any human should." "That is rare." I laughed nervously. "I guess that's the side effect of fixing pipes." "Perhaps," she said, a mischievous glint in her eyes. "Or perhaps you are special." The dangers of mating season. The intensity of her mating season became more apparent as time passed. The fluid in the pipes began to react violently to emotional fluctuations, causing small tremors in the habitat. Minor accidents became frequent. "It's more than just pipes," she explained one evening. "If I am not balanced, the energy can harm me or others." I realized then the gravity of my responsibility. One mistake could have catastrophic consequences. The situation escalated when the habitat's sensors detected external interference. Other alien species, drawn by her biological signal, were attempting to locate her. I had to protect her while managing the pipes, a dual task of engineering and survival. One night, an intruder breached the outer ring. I grabbed tools, while she focused her energy to stabilize the habitat. Together, we created a field that repelled the intruder and prevented the energy from destabilizing her body. "I never thought plumbing could save lives," I said breathlessly. She laughed softly, a sound like chimes in zero gravity. "It is not plumbing, it is connection, balance, understanding." The emotional connection. As days turned into weeks, our relationship deepened. The alien girl, whose name I learned was Lyra, began to trust me completely. She revealed stories of her homeworld, her culture, and the sacred nature of her mating cycles. "You are unusual for a human," she said one evening. "Others would panic, flee, or fail. But you adapt. You balance. That is why I called you." I felt a strange pride, mixed with embarrassment. My ordinary skills had suddenly become extraordinary. She leaned closer, her glow intensifying. "During mating season, the connection between us strengthens. You must remain steady." I nodded, though my heart raced. It was more than biology, it was a mental, emotional, and energetic connection I was barely prepared for. Each interaction taught me more about focus, empathy, and understanding someone or something completely different from myself. And in return, Lyra seemed calmer, more at peace. The climax, a galactic incident. It all came to a head when an unexpected solar flare hit the colony. The energy surge destabilized the habitat systems. Pipes pulsed violently, fluid overflowed, and Lyra's energy began to spike uncontrollably. "Alex, you must stabilize. Now," she shouted, her voice carrying both urgency and trust. I worked frantically, adjusting conduits, redirecting flows, and synchronizing the system with her energy pulses. Sparks flew, alarms blared, and time seemed to slow. Her body glowed brighter and brighter, nearly blinding me. I felt the flow of energy, matching it, balancing it, holding it steady. Minutes, or maybe hours, later, the surge subsided. Lyra's breathing, or the alien equivalent, slowed. The pipes returned to their usual luminescence, gentle and calm. "You did it," she whispered, her eyes softening. "You balanced everything. You are extraordinary." I slumped against the control panel, exhausted beyond belief. "I just fixed the pipes," I muttered weakly. "No," she said, reaching out a delicate hand. "You saved me, and perhaps, more than just me." Ending a new understanding. In the days that followed, Lyra's mating season subsided. The habitat stabilized completely, and the colony returned to normal operations. Yet, our lives had changed forever. I had entered as a maintenance engineer, called to fix pipes. I left as a trusted protector and confidant of an alien being, intimately connected to her life and survival. Lyra smiled at me one evening, her glow warm and soft. "You understand me in ways no one else could. The pipes were the excuse. But the connection, that is real." I laughed, shaking my head. I never thought plumbing could mean all this. "Plumbing, engineering, skill, courage, empathy," she said softly. "All are important. You embody them." We shared a quiet moment, floating in the calm of her habitat. The luminescent fluid flowed gently, a symbol of balance, trust, and connection. I realized then that life aboard Lyria 12 would never be ordinary again. One call, one simple request to fix her pipes, had bound me to a journey of danger, understanding, and unexpected intimacy. And as Lyra's eyes glimmered with soft light, I knew this was only the beginning. Because sometimes, the smallest, most mundane tasks can lead to the most extraordinary adventures. And sometimes, a simple plumbing job could save a life, stabilize a world, and change everything you thought you knew about responsibility, courage, and connection.